Well, son, today is Sunday. Dog days of summer, the end of July, what they call it. They don't have a book today to talk to you about, but you know, I've been giving it some thought for maybe since you was born. And today's Sunday. You by your grandmother's house. Today is July the 29th, 2018. Today's Sunday, and you went by your grandmother's house, and she probably took you to church this morning, and your mom stepped out for a little while. So I'm just sitting here in my office reading and writing. And I said, well, I'll make a video for you because maybe, I might not get a chance to tell you. I'd love to tell you, as an adult or, as an older teen that have understanding, but I don't know. Who knows? So, maybe you'll see this one day and then, you'll be like, well, at least he told me. So, and I just wanted to talk to you about why I don't go to church. Okay, I'm not speaking for anybody. This is not a video why black men don't go to church. I don't know why. You have to ask them. But for me, your father, your dad, why don't dad go to church? Why on Sunday when mom is bringing me and grandmother is bringing me, why dad don't come up in there with them folks? And I guess I'll start off, you pretty much know how I was raised. I'm definitely going to tell you, my father is a minister. My father is a preacher. He has his own church. Probably preached this morning. I used to watch him on Facebook, but I don't even do that anymore. you know. So, and it's not that because I'm an atheist or an agnostic or anything like that. I still believe that there's a higher power. Some people call him God. Some people call it the universe. Some people call it intuition. I believe there's an order to the universe. But, growing up, we had to go to church every day, dude. Like, hopefully you never have to experience it. Dude, like, we went to church at least 5 times a week. Every evening, Sunday, all day, And I'm not going to say it was a negative thing because, I've learned a lot. My love of reading actually came from reading the Bible. They used to, read the Bible in a year. They had these things, and I started reading it. I was like 13 years old. I didn't really have, an understanding like I have now. And it was the King James version, so it was a lot harder to understand. But even today, I still read it. It's like I told you in one of the other videos. It's the foundation for Western civilization. I mean, some of these atheists and you shouldn't read the Bible and it's stupid, it's crazy, it's a book of fairy tales. But I mean, you can't fight that. It is the foundation of this civilization. Most of the books I've read, they make allusions to the Bible, and if you don't know some of the stuff in the Bible, you're really going to be lost out here. If you want to be an intellectual, you want to be a reader. You know, Even a lot of the love of money, a lot of the songs have stuff in the Bible. I mean, even a lot of the commercials and the TV shows and all, they all allude to the Bible. So, and the Quran too. You should read that too if you get a chance. I'm not as well versed in it that I am in the Bible, but I have given it a read. It's a very good book. But you know, as I start getting older and start seeing, well, the first thing was when I was going to church. Sometimes every once in a while, we would visit other churches. I'm a pretty quiet person. I'm very attentive. I just look at everything. I always looking. I see what people about. I peep them out quick. You know what I mean? I keep my mouth closed and I just let them expose themselves. And we used to go to churches, and the people at the other churches would be like, "Well, our pastor got this, and our pastor." It was always like this little competition. You know what I mean? It was like I didn't like that, and I never understood that if the main goal is getting everybody to become Christians or whatever, Why can't two or three preachers, pastors, just unite their churches? Because you will have so many different types of people, and they can draw all the people. If I have a church with middle class people and I have a church with poor people, if we unite and become one church, then we can it's called synergy. We have more and more people, and we can draw more and more people. And I'm not even gonna go into the whole black church and a white church, because that's a whole nother video. But I'm just talking about as far as even like a white church, or black church. Why can't I've never seen two preachers unite on anything. And I start seeing it. I start seeing it as a power thing. It's just a following. You watch Survivor, and everybody, you want to make this little group, you know what I mean? But you want to be on top of the group or whatever. So I just saw it as a power thing. And from what I've seen, what I've experienced, because I've been to many of them. I've been visited many of them. I've gone to many of them. And I just see it where they just want to follow it. And when you go, you can be at one church for 20 years. You go to the other church, they going to treat you like you don't know anything, because it's like a pyramid. So you got to go in there and act like you don't know nothing, because the people that been there longer, they got to be up over you. You know what I mean? And it's just silly. A lot of mess. I'm not going to even discuss that, because that's everywhere you go. You know what I mean? That's your job everywhere you go. But, you just I think what the mistake that I made was probably just giving them too much expectations, expecting too much from them, expecting them not to be perfect, but to at least have good intentions. So, and most people complain about the money. I went to a church one time. The preacher got up and said that, the first time I came, he was like, some people use the church. I was like, well, okay, I won't use you again, sorry. Then I went to this other church, and I was there maybe about 3 weeks, and the guy started talking about tithes. They started, oh, you got to give us money. We need money, and I guess they do. I guess that's fair. I don't too much rail against people, because if you there all the time, you should pay. So it's kind of like a catch-22, because it's like, you need me. Some of them teach that you need me to not go to hell, but then if you're gonna be here, you need to pay. So it's like a catch-22. Like, well, if you're not paying me, then you go to hell. So a lot of infighting. A lot of people are very emotional about their doctrine and what they believe. I've never been like that. I'm very open to other, and as another thing, it was like when I was going to church, like some of the books that I've read or whatever, it's like they didn't push that. It was like, oh no, you should just read the Bible, or it's like they want you to be at a certain level. Some people, oh, you're too smart for God. You know what I mean? They want you. It's like they're not gonna say it, but they kind of want you to remain ignorant. They don't want you to ever to kind of start learning on your own. And I mean, now like I said, I haven't been in a while, but I don't see how they can keep the people controlled nowadays with the internet. But I guess same way the government do it, because if you're not interested, I mean, you could just Google some of the stuff. You know what I mean? It's just simple. You could just Google some of the stuff and see why they do what they do. And, I mean, if you believe the Bible or other books or whatever, you could just Google, some of the things that they've done in the past. But, for some people, I think for some people it's a good thing. Some people it's a need. Some people need to feel like they're a part of something. So if you ever want to join a church or whatever, I would never, like I say, some people, I have a friend, this guy, he was a drug addict, whatever. He joined the Nation of Islam, and he was in Washington, D.C. a couple of weeks ago. He's one of the leaders in it, I couldn't tell him, well, you're ignorant for going, hey, do what's best for you. A lot of the black people now, that's what they're doing. They're trying to shame them. Like, don't you know that Christianity was slavery and, that they forced that upon your ancestors, which is true. But at the end of the day, some people need that. I mean, some people need that family. It's not even about the church. Some people that go to church, they don't believe none of that. What they just preaching. It's just somewhere where their family go and everybody go. And, they want to be a part of the group. Well, a lot of times it's just a social organization. You have the Italian church. It was like, these people came from these, like the Mexicans. They come in here, they want a church because that's the place where, they can get around people like them and they can support each other and all. So, I don't knock it. You know what I mean? I'm not up Sunday morning in front of the church telling the people, like those Hebrews. If you look on YouTube, the Hebrew Israelites going in there telling the people, telling the people they believe wrong and all. I mean, they got some balls on them. That's them, If they feel like God telling them to do that, then God bless them, But I won't be that guy doing that. You know what I mean? So, and it's a lot of other stuff that I've seen, and then a lot of Christians will say, well, you can't let the people from church run you from God, but I don't equate church with God. I just feel like it's it's like playing football and then the NFL. Just because I'm not in the NFL, I still can enjoy football. I can play football. It's just not structured. I see they call it, what do they call it? Structured religion. I can't even remember the name of it now. Mainstream religion or whatever. So that's all it is, and I guess, it has to be structured in some way. In many churches they do things for the community and all, but it's a shame when you go in some of these neighborhoods and it's all tore up, all the houses are tore up, everything torn up, but they got this beautiful church. It's a shame to black neighborhood. That just irks me, And it's also a shame that we have to look to preachers to be our leaders in political things and economic. That's just sad. You got people with advanced degrees in these areas, and not knocking a preacher or whatever, but I don't believe that's his job to be leading us in economic. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't train for that. I can understand if you're a believer in spiritual things or whatever, but so follow the preacher, and the preacher's telling you how to live, how your marriage and all that, And a lot of them, they're smart and they have life experience, but, our thing is specialization. We, for some reason, we don't respect specialization. People train for years and years, and it's like, well, you don't have a Mercedes, so I'm not gonna listen to you. You know what I mean? So, and even with my dad, it's like a lot of people didn't listen to him or whatever. He got a Cadillac, and they're like, all these people, oh, we gotta listen to him now. You know what I mean? So it's about money anyway. It's about material things. And a lot of churches, that's what they're doing now. They're basically just self-help groups, teaching the people how to get money, how to make money and whatever, which, you can learn that on YouTube. So I don't know. Like I say, to each his own. I'm not one of these angry people that's just railing. And a lot of people have been hurt. I can understand them too. A lot of women been raped and, what I'm saying, molested by the preachers and stuff. I've never experienced nothing like that. You know what I mean? I can honestly say that any church I've ever, the people, they really had good hearts and they really wanted to help. You know what I mean? As a child. And I say that to some of the people that I went to church with and they railing against. I'm like, at the end of the day, none of those people ever tried to hurt us. I can't say it for myself. You know what I'm saying? Nobody that I've went to church ever tried to hurt me. They always tried to tell me the truth as they saw it from their life experience. And I guess that's all you could do. But You know, as for me now, and I'm not gonna say never, because you know, anything could happen. But as for me now, I'll probably never set foot in one again. You know, I mean, if somebody invite me, if somebody really like asked me to come and invite, you know, and if I wasn't doing nothing, I would go. But I'll let them, because I went with one of my coworkers a few years ago. She invited me. She goes to the Yahweh Church or something. And I told them, you know, I'll go, but I'll go one time, and I'm never joining. And they was asking me if I had questions, I guess, because they it seemed like they was just pressing to start an argument with me. Like, and I'm like, I'm cool, baby. It's a belief, it's faith. If you believe that, I can't tell you that that's wrong, because I can't prove it for, and you can't prove it against. So I just feel like all those arguments are just crazy. All those arguments are just crazy, and they just a waste of time, because like people, oh, you have to prove the existence of God. No, I believe it. If I could prove it, then it wouldn't be faith. And that's the basis of belief. That's the basis of the Bible, faith. You have to believe that without proof. So if you have proof, then you're not, it's not faith. So, you know, arguing about that and telling people, oh, well, you're crazy because you believe that. Well, you know, that's what they believe in. You know, many millions of people have went to their death because of that belief. You know, and that gives them purpose in life. So that's why I don't understand the people that try to persecute them, because it's like, why? That's giving them more purpose. You know, I say, you know, just ignore them and let them live. If that's what they want to do, you know, that's why, I mean, we live in one of the greatest societies ever, because we have freedom of religion. People can practice whatever religion they choose, or they can stay home Sunday and watch football. Like I do. And you know, and they shouldn't be disparaged for that. They shouldn't be persecuted for that. You know what I'm saying? They're just as smart as I am if they choose to go to church. You know what I'm saying? They're not fooled or anything. They just choose to believe something that I don't. They choose to believe that that's something they need, you know, for their life. You know, and God bless those people. So I don't know if that explains it all. It's probably got more questions, but hey, it's more than some get. So I check you later.